How's it going, Scorpio community? Soul Tigress here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So some keywords here are forgetfulness, unsure, willing to do so much for the ones you love. Sometimes you feel lost when they don't understand that all you want to do is help them. Chasing these others is like chasing the wind, Scorpio. A tale that will never end. And what's happening here, I feel like, is there is a lot of energy in Aries. So from now until the full moon that comes up in Aries on October 6th, you're going to be facing a lot of conflict. And this lot of conflict is going to go through that Libra new moon on the 21st. So Libra is all about relating to others. A lot of Libra energy is very people-pleasing type of energy. And I was also guided to reflect back to the Virgo energy. So the Virgo new moon was on the 23rd. So what's happening is these energies are kind of being put into one big pot and being mixed up for you. So it's all about you taking care of yourself. Be careful when putting others above you. Be careful when being overly dedicated to these others that you love. Because remember, Scorpio, you are that guardian angel type of energy. You're always trying to save the ones that you love. So first thing that comes out is just know nothing is set in stone yet. And this is something that you're at odds ends with because it comes in reverse. There's something here in the emotions that you're fighting, but also something that what I'm hearing is you're not ready for a final goodbye on things. That's what I'm hearing. So there's something that you're wanting to feel very black and white on in one area of your life, but in another area of your life, you're not ready for it. Something else that we're not seeing is what do you need to release? And this is something that you're at odds ends with. This is something that you try and keep out in the cold. You try and ice it off so you don't have to deal with this. So you don't have to face this shadow side here with whatever that has to do with. The end to a tough cycle approaches. And I think with this energy really being pointed to the Virgo, all the way going to the Aries, is it comes at you being able to take care of yourself. Really stepping into your personal power, knowing when you have to step in a different direction, especially when it means having to choose between things. But that's hard. That's really hard when we climb a lot of cliffs for others. Something else that you're not seeing, that you're confused on, is don't let pride get in the way. When you close the door to a situation, you don't have to slam it shut because you're angry. You don't have to use anger as a validation to end things to get up to do something different. Something else you're confused on is balanced spirituality and practicality. Now this makes sense because Piscean energy, we just had one of the moons with the Pisces. Was it the full moon in Pisces with this blood moon that just came about? Piscean house. All about ending an old cycle, preparing for a new one. Now, I love to sit here and talk with Scorpio energy. And Scorpio energies, they do mix well with the other water signs. But I'm not going to lie, a lot of people have a hard time mixing with Piscean energy unless they're in that frequency of that Pisces. And one thing here about Piscean energy that's really hard for them is, again, ending old things so that they can start off on something new. And this is a time for healing for you. This is why it's important for you to be able to have discernment when you're looking at this. I know you don't want to see it for the black and white that it is. Emotionally, you don't. But here in the house of Pluto, it deals with the life and death matters, domination. And there's something here that's overly dominating you that isn't feeling right. It's overly dominating certain parts of your life, and it's throwing you off balance. Something else we're not seeing is prosperity lies ahead. For some reason, whatever this situation is with your gifts, when you look at it, when you feel it, when you feel the future of it, you're not feeling the stability come from it. I think that's also what's making you be unbalanced, because you're trying to provide so much of this energy, not just your half of it, but their half of it, whatever this is, person, place, and or thing. That's a lot coming out for that introduction. So let's go ahead and take a deeper dive into the present with the ancestors, spirit guides. What is it that needs to come out for the present? Sometimes we can hang ourselves up by trying to take care of others, by trying to save others. Okay, I'm being told that's enough. So you have to be careful. That's something that was being talked about earlier today with the Virgo frequency, is being careful that they don't basically self-sabotage themselves because of somebody else's misery, because somebody else's insecurity, because somebody else can't get up and do what they need to do for their success. So as you see, a lot's coming out right away. First thing that's standing out is we have the sun and we have the moon here. With the sun in reverse, it tells me that it's really hard for you to be aligned with what you actually believe in your heart. You're confused about it when it comes to the things that you feel on the inside energetically. Reading between the lines. It could be reading between the lines on the very things that you want. The stability that you want to find with this person, place, and or thing. What you do feel is there's not a lot of truth here. You don't feel like there's a lot of clear communication. And for some reason, you always feel like you have to overgive, or somebody's always coming in and taking advantage of you. Maybe this person, they confuse you because of how they come in at times. At times they could come in like, how do I put this? This is interesting. They try and come in like they're well articulated. They try and come in like with this wisdom. What they try and do, what I see, is they try and pull the wool over your eyes with the way that they talk to you. They try to give, what I'm hearing is the rhyme to every reason, whatever it is that they're doing. Just the way that they're talking to you about it, the way that they try and say, well, you know, not everybody's perfect, not everything's perfect. You need to understand that. Like, they could be throwing a lot of others in there. They could be using even past people to try and validate how they feel or what bullshit they're trying to feed you. That's what I feel like. You will get that. You will get that with workplaces. It's almost like the energy of, the best example I can give you is like, if you've ever been with somebody who was in a relationship and they got cheated on by somebody they really cared about. So now that you're entering the relationship with them, they're using all the insecurities that they gained from that relationship to validate how they act, validate their jealousy, validate them putting you down, validate their negative behavior, basically. And I feel like that's very, very wrong of them. Very wrong of them. And then there you are at a distance. At a distance. I feel like sometimes the further you are away from whatever this is, the more balanced you feel. That's something that you're going to have to really, really, really explore there. Something else that you don't see is your independentness. How you've grown from one point to another. Whatever this person does to put you down, it's definitely to blind you to your success, your emotional success, your 9 of Pentacles success. So the success that you've had in your career, the success that you've built in the foundations of your home type of thing, your emotional success of healing as well. Another thing you're not seeing is you're the star. You know, as much as you wish that whoever, whatever this is, would fulfill your wishes, it hasn't. But on the other side, you've been fulfilling your wishes. You've been busy at work, Scorpio. And this is something that you need to see the truth on. You need to see this on because you need to see how you've worked really hard for it. You need to see that you are that prosperity. That's what I'm hearing to say. Now, don't get a big head with this because nobody's perfect, but it's okay to take pride in a good sense in the things that you've done, the things that you've built, how far you have came. And if anybody's trying to sit here and dissuade you from that, Scorpio, it's a damn lie. Whatever they're saying, it's a lie, because the Scorpio in this story has been working hard. They've even been working hard for someone or something. Like I said, that could be really jealous at times. They're very worried about their little trinkets. All the little things that they have on or around them, the things that they show up with. This could be the very thing that feeds their insecurities, because you have Taurus energy here. Taurus is saying is, I have. So this person, I'll tell you right now, is very insecure about what they've done with themselves. And because they can't, because they're directly under this Pisces card, because they can't put endings to things for themselves to start new things, it increases their insecurities. And here you are, one hot commodity. You don't know it. You have this success. You have this success, and it feels like you outshine them, even though you're not trying to outshine whoever, whatever this is, but this is what it feels like to them. So what I'm feeling like, the jealousy is being built up from resentment, them resenting not you, but themselves. A few other things that we're not seeing. Woo-wee, you are a teacher. You are a teacher. You are a teacher that has been willing to start from the bottom here, whether it's with the person, place, or thing. Even though it could have been others, like, this is a dead end, this isn't gonna work, you know, other people questioning your choices, why you kept trying to water this, why you kept trying to grow this. It was because you were dedicated. There's something here that you can give this person that you feel like that nobody else has been able to give this person. Again, Scorpio, you're trying to be their guardian angel. This is really beautiful, but this is something that is going to bite you in the rear every single time, Scorpio. I'm sorry to say. I am sorry to say that. It's hard when you have a big heart. It's hard when you show up. It's hard when you have so much to give. And there's this part in you that just, you have so much to give. You want to share it with others. Even if that means doing double time, you showing up as both energies here, both positive and negatively charged, or feminine and masculine, because we got to have both positive and negatives together, light and dark together. And the thing is here, you chasing this, you listening to their reasons is the thing that keeps you distracted. It keeps you distracted from something really big here, but I'm being shown a closed door to this, so I'm not supposed to go any deeper into that than just what I've said now. It's hard. I will tell you, it's hard, Scorpio. I believe Scorpio is in my 9th house, and Pluto is in that house as well. So I feel this. I really feel this when you're just this person that has so much love. You feel complete being able to share this love with others. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to be careful, because if you're somebody who overly worries on their mistakes and somebody who is really, really dedicated, that is a narcissist's bread and butter. I will just say that. I'm not calling this situation a narcissist, but I'm just saying that this has a lot of Aries energy around here. So whatever the conflicts that you're finding here, whatever conflicts you're trying to push to the side, are the very conflicts you need to face. You need to stop being somebody's bread and butter. That's what it is. They need to figure out how to go earn that themselves, how to bring it home themselves too, how to, establish that within the business for their employees. All right, so angels of protection, help guide us as we go through the block here for the Scorpio energy. As you're seeing, there is a lot of tricks that are being played. A lot of tricks. And it has to do with this person using the past. Whatever it is, past relationship they were in, past employers, employees that they dealt with, such and such. I'm hearing 3 more cards. What are the last 3 cards here? There's 2. What's the last card? There's the 1. All right. So let's go to this side with your emotional success, this healing of yours. Something here with your block you have to do is you got to create movement. Don't use this healing as a means to be bad. a means to be hard on yourself, a means to think badly of yourself. Whatever conflict that this person's bringing in, especially when it comes to you questioning your healing, is something definitely that you gotta untie. And it definitely comes into your mental state. We gotta untie our mind about some things. And it's all about our passions. Untying ourselves from viewing our passions as a bad thing. Sometimes when we're overly dedicated to the wrong people, they will use that against us. And it's time to really see how our passions have ignited our healing, how our passions have untied us from things, how our passions have brought us to the truth of things as well. 7 of Cups. Don't let this person's illusions, the illusions of the past, stop you from reaching where you need to be, where you want to go. The divinity, the beliefs that you've really been working on, trying to spiritually evolve yourself. Then we have this. You're going to keep going through this situation, whether with this person, with this place, or with this thing, until you heal what needs to be healed here, until you're ready to face the conflict. And the conflict has to deal with you going against your intuition, you going against what you're reading between the lines when it comes to the partnerships that you have been in, the partnerships that seem to leave you more upset with somebody always pulling on your energy, for you trying to show up, you trying to be there. And when it comes to this person and the rhymes to the reasons, we really need to unblock it. Forget it. They're going to have their views. They're going to have their reasons. They're going to overly focus on how somebody was more selfish, how somebody didn't do this, how somebody didn't do that, because they're not ready to unblock themselves from it. They haven't moved on from whoever, whatever this was, whatever it is in the past. And that's not your fault. That is not your fault. You really, really, really want to show them something, but they're not ready to see it. That's not where their truth is. And really having discernment. Really having discernment. You got to take a step back. This is a part of your block here, is you may be seeing things too closely. You have to take a step back. You really have to pour into yourself, how you want to feel, how you want your future to be, how you want your present to be. Because remember, you are the star, but you're not seeing you're the star. This is something that's going to be a part of helping your mental state. It is, because I mean, the star in reverse, that's mental illness. You're in upright. So when you feel like you are mentally ill, aka crazy, because of what this person keeps telling you, because of when they do show up, they have all those reasons. Healing from this is going to help create stability in your mental state. You're going to learn how to trust that intuition more when it comes to things that are conflict, that bring conflict into the things that you're passionate about. You know, the things that they try and surround you with trying to make you feel vulnerable for the things that you do, how you show up, and how dedicated you are. That's hard. That is hard. It is hard to try and be there for somebody, to try and help heal somebody, but you still try and heal yourself the whole way. Like I said, you're trying to show up for like double the energy, and it's really hard. It is really hard. It's like, oh my goodness, I can feel your emotions, Scorpio. I can really, really feel it. That is so hard. But the whole thing is like we've talked about, when we try and hold on to something, when we try and hold on to it, when we're supposed to let it go, then we start to do more damage to it and to ourselves. Now with this full moon in Capricorn here, Capricorn energy, no offense to any Capricorn here, but y'all will try and climb, not try, but will climb cliffs to get away from how you feel. With the Capricorn energy, they also will not bring up, put it out there on how they really feel on things, because they're afraid. They're afraid on how it's going to affect the relationships around them. This is somebody who really blames themselves for how they feel, but in a negative way. How you feel, yeah, blame yourself for how you feel, because that's how you feel, but it doesn't got to be negative. It could be something that's very validating. It could be something that helps you move forward, that helps you heal, that brings some kind of truth to light. And that's what I feel like needs to happen here for Scorpio, because this is driving you crazy. This is driving you really crazy in your thoughts. Yes, you've tried really hard here, but maybe understanding that you've reached your limits here. Again, with that Piscean energy that was here with the full moon. Hold on, give me a second, because I'm having, the Pisces full moon on the 7th. That's all about the house of ending old cycle, preparing for new. And like I said, Pisces they're very, very insecure when it comes to doing that, when it comes to going against the crowd. So this is something that you have to face here, going against what somebody else is telling you, basically. Alrighty, we made it. That's a lot, but we made it through. I hope this helps. I hope this reconfirms for some Scorpios here as well. Alright, so let's call in Divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out for the conclusion? Here we go. All right, so one of the things that's going to be the biggest medicine here, and it's a something, is forgiving each other is a special thing. Like I said, when you finally make the moves you need to make, that you're ready to make, that you're willing to make, you don't have to do it so hastily in a way where you close off your heart chakra. Where you say, you know what, forget this, forget anything that's ever like it. You know, I don't ever want to deal with this again. I'm closed off to this entirely, because that means you didn't learn a lesson here. I mean, you learned something. You learned how to block yourself off from it, but you never actually confronted the fears that kept you here. So forgiveness, forgiving this person for them wanting to be stuck, forgiving yourself for, overly trying too hard, because sometimes when we try too hard and it feels fruitless, we get upset with ourselves. Don't get upset with yourself. All right, every day there are lots of secrets hidden in the sky. You may not know the exact reason why things are going to work out the way it's going to work out when you use your free will. That's okay. Just giving trust that everything's going to flow. Giving trust to your beliefs, giving trust to your healing, giving trust in yourself. Because there's a lot of things in the universe. The universe is outside of you and the universe is within you that you don't understand right now. But 5-10 years from now, you may understand it. All right, another one. Every day, be determined, but don't expect. Expectation will always kick us in the ass, Scorpio. Don't do things thinking that we're going to get that rainbow at the end for it when it comes to others, when it comes to trying to plan everything down to a T. Because life has a cruel sense of humor sometimes, and it likes to throw different things in there to keep us on our toes. Just have that goal in mind for your healing journey and where you want to take yourself, and then being open to it, because when it doesn't work out perfectly as you expected, you're not going to be disappointed. If anything, you'll find humor and you'll be able to continue to move forward to get to where you're meant to be. Something else that you're confused on is, please don't get mad if the paths we choose are different. That's a big one. That is a big one. Unexpected outcomes. Sometimes when we dedicate ourselves to a cause, we want to be able to see that cause for a lifetime. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes that thing, that cause that we work towards, is the reckoning that we need to help us shed the old, so that we can rebirth with new, stronger, more agile, more fertile, more open instead of being closed off. All right, sometime when you get closer, the mountain looks higher than you think. Do you still have the same goal? Now, what I'm hearing is to refer to the fear of starting over. If you pick a different mountain to climb, What's going to happen? How hard it's going to be? Am I going to get the same results? The only way you're going to get the same results is if you're climbing the same mountain. If you've done the healing and you've journeyed to different lands, then it's going to be something different. Are you ready? Are you ready to take the journey no matter what the perspective is when you get there? That's the thing. That is the thing. You're never going to get the same if you're healing. You're never going to get the same if you're able to put in the work and get to somewhere different. And if you do get the same, you already know to avoid it because you've healed from it. All right, so this is something you're confused on. Be with one. Understand one, problems would be less. One is all is one. As above, so as below. Whatever you're dealing with is a reflection of your insecurities. When you can see that, then you're able to confront the conflict that rocks you, the conflict that you've been afraid of. And then you're able to move from there because all of it is one. If you don't face it with this one, you're going to face it with another one, another person, place, or thing. All right, so the last card is somewhere. Now this is you being really truthful with yourself, you being able to continue healing and not see your healing as something bad because you're evolving past things. Too much planning is a waste of time. Too much expectation hurts. There it is. That expectation again. Nothing works out perfectly the way we plan, but it works out perfectly in the way it's supposed to flow. What you wanted to build here is still possible, but maybe the divine has another person, place, or thing in the future for you that will actually help you or be there with you or even teach you. Could be more positive stuff. How to get there. But the thing is, you have to put down the expectations that it can only work out the one way, Scorpio. That's what it is. Because trying to work it the one way for you so far has you chasing the wind. Has you not prideful. Not feeling prideful for all the healing that you've done. The success that you've worked hard to get to with your stability, could be with your career, being able to put down the illusions that this other keeps feeding you is going to be the thing that will unblock you, help unblock the very things that you want to believe in, releasing that confusion. And one of the biggest things here is really, really recognizing, Scorpio, that you've been fulfilling your wishes. You've been fulfilling your wishes. You've been fulfilling yourself, watering different parts of your life to get you to this point now because you're one hell of a person. Now it's time to come down from those cliffs and really, really feel how you feel. And see what you need to release. What's going to help bring you back into balance when it comes to healing things. When it deals with certain people, certain places, certain things that make you do double the work to try and get to the prosperity that you have in mind with your goals, your dreams, and your wishes. Just know nothing is set in stone. Man, this was a good story right here. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank Divine, Universal, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides for all coming in and helping out with these positive messages. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.